Hi Ruby, welcome to the Standard Times. So let us first begin with your journey. If you could just tell us your entire aviation journey, how it began until now.
So my aviation journey started about 23 years back in 1999. I was a fresh MBA graduate, and by chance I stumbled onto the supply chain industry. And since then, I have been here with various companies like Emery Worldwide, Expeditors, CH Robinson, and then now Cargo Partner. It has been a fun ride. It was a new day every day with new learnings. You had to unlearn everything that you learned earlier and learn new things. It's a wonderful journey together.
Can you tell us a bit about Cargo Partner, what it is like, what are the clients that you deal with, and what is your role with Cargo Partner?
Cargo Partner is an Austrian forwarder. It's an international integrated logistics provider with offices across 140 cities and 40 countries. This basically, the journey started in 1983 when they started as an air freight forwarder. And since then, under the leadership of Mr. Crowther, it has been just growing on a very, very fast span. And we are now available in all the world notable trade lanes with offices in US, Indo-ASEAN, Europe, India, and I am the air freight director for Cargo Partner, taking care of the air cargo, both imports and exports. And I have just been given an additional responsibility of Singapore and Malaysia as well. So our motto, I would like to tell you, which I really like, is we take things personally and better than others and passion for excellence. So Cargo Partner has been a great journey.
So Ruby, you've been in this industry for 23 years. According to your observation, how has the client demands changed?
It has been an interesting journey, and the clients as well as the ecosystem has also changed. When we started, everything was on paper, so there were pre-alerts being faxed, and calling, and everything was email, everything was on phone. But yeah, there has been a sea change, and also the consumer demand and the industries have become more mature, more sophisticated. There has been more learning on the customer side as well. They have also matured and they have asked for a lot of things. And of course, the scenario has also changed in the terms of there were less countries. Things were now, supply chain is no longer that linear. It is very, very complex. People are actually importing and exporting to various places you've never heard of, commodities that you did not think were airworthy. Yeah, air freight was only for high value pharmaceutical commercial goods. But yeah, you see, we are here today, and these last 2 years have been great learning in the sense to reinvent yourself. And here is where we've seen the customer demands changing mostly.
Any recent changes in the demand of the clients that you've observed, and anything that you would like to share?
Yeah, in the recent times, you see that because of, the companies are also under a huge pressure of reducing the costs, and at the same time, the pricing is elevated almost every day. There are challenges galore. You have fuel surcharge, you have Ukraine crisis, you have Shanghai. So right now, everyone, the customers and us, we are all working together to try and find alternative solutions. So that's where, because ultimately, what do they want? The client wants competitive product to be there in the market, and the shipping costs and the whole scenario has changed. So it is a very fine line, and I think we're working hard on, we put customer to the core, so we hear what they have to say and then probably work things to provide those alternative solutions to the customers, however best we can suit.
Cargo Partner has doubled its warehouse capacity in Slovenia, and it's called as a phase 2 expansion. So, Why did you feel the need for an expansion there, and what commodities do you intend to use in that area? Like,
Slovenia is again a very very integral part of the Central Eastern Europe, where we are very very strong, and we saw that that whole Central Eastern belt had a lot of manufacturing prowess. So we first opened our warehouse in 2019, and thinking that we would be able to cater, but there was so much of demand that the expansion plan that we had for 2024 to 26, we had to actually put it forward and do it in 22. So we exhausted those space. So we opened a new expansion phase 2 plant right now this year only. And the commodities have been automotive, high tech, a lot of temperature controlled, and 30% of that warehousing is actually dedicated to e-commerce fulfillment center. And we've got a drone driveway near the new warehouse setup. That is how things are looking up. We were very happy to actually have used up that space. You're always happy when you invest, and yeah, you're ready to invest into phase 2 again, because what you wanted to achieve you've already achieved in that time. So Slovenia, we have a lot of programs, LCL air businesses from Asia and India to Slovenia. We have a Koper port. So we have a lot of cargo going in which needs to be stored there.
and any other similar expansion plans in any other areas that you would like to discuss?
Cargo Partner India is again heavily into a lot of network expansion mode. We have 14 offices right now, and we are also planning to increase it by 10 offices again in the next 2 years, with a lot of expansion of warehousing capacities. And on the global level, so last month we opened an office in Piraeus in Greece. So this actually complements the network growth in Southeast Europe. June this month we are actually opening an office in Macau, which complements our network growth in the southern China belt. Then we have a lot of offices opening in UK. So you have Basildon, Bradford, Manchester, and then we have warehousing expansion happening in countries like Germany, Croatia, Thailand, among other countries. Yeah, these are more notable warehousing. So this is all our global plans and the Indian plans. We tend to increase our turnover to 1500 crores in the next 2 years.
So the warehouses expansion that you mentioned, so these are purely focusing only on e-commerce, or there are multiple products?
So there are multiple products, but e-commerce is an industry which is called the future of air cargo. So yes, we are investing into e-commerce cross-border movements. We're working in India. We have some very successful models in Singapore, Europe. Yeah, but these warehouses are actually mixed. So for e-commerce fulfillment as well as for our normal door-to-door movements.
So Ruby, since July, EASA has exempted carrying goods in passenger cabins, and this is going to be a change in the capacity. So how do you think this will affect the cargo handling globally?
From my perspective, I'll tell you. So this EASA regulation is not something which has now just come in. This was a regulation which actually post-COVID, when we had a lot of loss of belly capacity, so EASA approved conversions of these passenger aircrafts into business. So these were measures to survive, where you can put a cargo in the cabins and move. But now, as you see, and so this was again extended till April 21. So now it comes to a closure in again this year in 2022, where EASA is not giving an approval to further enhance it. So from my perspective, I'll tell you, it is not a very different thing. It will not change a lot of things, because this came in as a measure when the passenger travels were on hold and you had less of capacities. But now, as things are changing back, you have passenger travel starting, capacity is opening up. You see a lot of carriers are flying again. I don't think that will make a big change, and particularly the seats were not made for putting in cargo. So ultimately, we are back to where we were, and things will go on fine. I don't think that's a big problem.
Ruby, how are you dealing with the Ukraine-Russia war conflict and the Shanghai lockdown? How has that impacted your business, and how are you handling it?
Airport closures or port closures are always a challenge to our industry because we are heavily dependent on the network. So, of course, things have been really challenging, but then that has been for everyone. And what we have done is that as an integrated international logistics provider, we have always thought of alternative solutions. So although there were problems on the rerouting of the carriers, and we had to suspend our trans-Siberian rail road service, but then we again got a lot of alternate solutions. So we have these Adriatic Mediterranean ports opening up, and we had taken capacities into our hands and have started charter services. We have a dense network of offices, and these charter services had actually helped us get give those customers the kind of solutions they wanted. So we were not very heavily dependent on carriers, although we have a great network of reliable carriers across. So the charter services are from Zhengzhou to Budapest, Hong Kong to Budapest, Zhengzhou to Frankfurt, and vice versa. Vienna to Chicago, Hong Kong to Delhi, we were operating for some time. So we were able to actually get along well and give our customers the kind of solutions they required with the limited resources, that or the uncontrollable things that happens, and geopolitical risks is almost everywhere.
How significant do you think that digitization is, and what more digital services that you believe Cargo Partner requires, or have you already adapted some digitization in your business already that you would like to share?
Again, not just the pandemic, but otherwise also, any company who has a vision had always invested in technology. We had seen the kind of benefits we reaped from it. So the technology part was always there with Cargo Partner. And we had greeted the new millennium of 2000 with actually launching a lot of technology support. We have a tool called Spot, which is a visibility and a collaboration tool, and has some high level data analytics, visibility, flexibility, which can actually be very helpful not only for us to track and do our businesses better, but to our customers who can analyze with those data and find better solutions. So yes, and this 2 years actually told us that the companies who invested in digitalization and digitization had actually seen they were performing better. And these 2 years had been really great because we had a backup. You do not have to be there to do your work. You were working from home from a wonderful system which had your data privacy secure system, and were able to give your customers the kind of end-to-end visibility for them to perform better. So we've invested heavily in technology, and that was again one of the visions that Mr. Crowther had for our company. And yeah, we're again, because as we say, you cannot just wait. So we are still, redefining, reinventing, finding multiple options, customizing things. So it has been, this is what has given Cargo Partner an edge.
So, Ruby, let's talk about something that the entire industry has been talking about: sustainability. What are your sustainability plans and goals? You could share something about Cargo Partner.
Cargo Partner, as an international company, we do believe we have responsibility towards a better future, and we are doing this by promoting a lot of initiatives on the social and the corporate levels. In fact, this has been our corporate target, to reduce CO2 emissions by 2030. We're doing our bit on the sustainability by a lot of activities and initiatives. We have to use more renewable energy source. We have our photovoltaic system in Austria. Then we're tracking all our emissions such as energy consumptions and company vehicles. Then we are raising a lot of awareness through a lot of programs. Then of course limiting our travels and then tracking all the emissions for our shipments and developing a carbon offset program. So these are some of the major among other things that we're doing to have a better future for our next generation.
Thank you so much, Ruby. It was an amazing interview.
Thank you.